Hey guys, Dark Fate here. So today we're going to be doing the G Gundam anime review. This is a hell of a lot better than the manga review, so let's get right into it. Okay, so we're going to start off with the characters. So the main character in the show is Domon Kashu. Domon Kashu is the King of Hearts. He is searching for his brother and his master in a sense, and he's trying to avenge his father. He is the pilot of Neo. He's the pilot for Neo Japan, and he's also the pilot of Shining Gundam and later Burning Gundam when Shining Gundam is destroyed. So he is the main character through this series. It's his story. Next up would be his partner Rain Mikamura, who is a childhood friend of Domon's, who kind of mentors him also, but also keeps him safe and makes sure that he doesn't get over the top with himself and tries to keep him in check. The next character would be Master Asia. Oh, by the way, Rain Mikamura pilots Rising Gundam later on. But the next character would be Master Asia, who is Domon Kashu's master and is out to try to get Domon in a sense. But he's also looking out for Domon. He's kind of a complex character. He likes to fight because he likes to feel the passion through the punches and things like that. He is the pilot for Neo Hong Kong, if I remember correctly, and he is the pilot of Master Gundam. Next up is Chibity Crockett, who is the pilot for Neo America and Maxter Gundam, and basically he's kind of the over-the-top character. He's kind of the ladies' man. And things like that. He's kind of like the hot-headed guy. Next is George Desand, or George Desand, or however you say his last name. He is the pilot for Neo France and the pilot of Rose Gundam. He is the calm and collected character in the show, but he still does speak out when he needs to. He's the chivalrous character. He's an okay character. He isn't very well developed, in my opinion. Next is Saishi. He is the pilot for Neo China and a pilot of Dragon Gundam. He is trying to revive his Shaolin dojo of his two partners. I don't remember their names. And he is the comedy relief for in the show because he is the youngest character in the show and is also the youngest to participate in the Gundam fight. So that's kind of an interesting thing. Argo Golsky is the pilot for Volt Gundam and is the pilot piloting it for Neo Russia. He is the extremely strong pilot in the show, but doesn't speak much. He is a prisoner of in Russia, and that is why he's fighting the Gundam fight, because he's trying to win its freedom. Next is Schwartz Bruder, who is the pilot for Neo Germany and is the pilot of Shadow Gundam. He is kind of the voice of wisdom to Domon later on in the show, and is also kind of looking out for him, which is revealed heavily near the end of the show, which is important. Lastly is Kyoji. Kyoji Kashu is Domon's brother, who Domon is looking for throughout the show, and he is taken over by, I think they're called DG cells, if I remember, and he is the pilot of Devil Gundam. And those are the main characters in the show. There is some other ones, but these are like the 5 main characters that are most important. Okay, so those are the characters, and that's kind of the story. I mean, I think I kind of went through the whole story in a sense, just doing the characters, but I'll just do a kind of a brief thing. So Domon Kashu is the leader of Neo, not leader, but he's the pilot for Neo Japan's Gundam, Shining Gundam, and later Burning Gundam. And he is searching for his brother who has gone missing, and he finds out he's piloting Devil Gundam. And he's also trying to avenge his father, who was fucked over by Neo Japan and put into a frozen state, and he's trying to free him as well. Domon is also the King of Hearts, which is a special kind of thing that I won't ruin for you guys. So that's kind of like the story. He's searching for his brother, trying to get him back and everything like that. I think that the story is actually kind of refreshing compared to all the other Gundam shows, and it's definitely probably the most unique out of all the Gundams. Maybe a close tie would be Turner Gundam, but I'd still say that G Gundam is the most unique. It also is kind of considered like the Dragon Ball Z of the Gundams because it basically is a martial arts show with robots. Each combatant is, for the most part, allowed one weapon, not including like projectiles and all that. And they have to show their martial arts skills, which is made possible through the what is it called? The mobile trade system. Mobile trade system. And that basically registers every single movement, every single thing. So if I'm like that, my Gundam does the little finger motions all the way up to that. So it registers every single motion that the pilot does by an elastic suit that he gets on, which is shown in the intro when Domon, that black thing that he's wearing. And I think that this show is probably one of my favorites just because it's very unique and it's very fun to watch. I think that it's a great show for anybody who's never seen a Gundam show to get into because there isn't a whole lot of terminology to memorize and have to know just going into it, and it's just a lot. It's just really fun to watch. It's kind of like watching Dragon Ball Z, except without all the fillers and everything like that. Also, one thing that other Gundams kind of have, well, not Gundams, but like a lot of anime like this, since it's more of a shonen than the Gundam shows, is that fillers. There is really no filler in this show, and it's also the only Gundam that has a fight scene in every single episode. So I mean, I think that's kind of cool. It's kind of like an episodic kind of thing, and it takes place in 3 arcs. The first part is Domon and him meeting up with the other Shuffle Alliance members. Then the second part, is them preparing to go into the final bouts of the Gundam fight, and then the third part is fighting bleep bleep bleep. I'm not gonna tell you what. So yeah, that's kind of like what it is. I think this is a great show that anybody can really get into. The music in this is good. If you didn't like that sound, I mean the intros in this show are awesome. There's also just a lot of good tracks in it. The voice acting in this show is pretty good, I think. I think all the voice actors fit the characters really well, and it can really show. It really shows that if you play Giant Steel Warrior Gundam and they have Domon in that, they have somebody else doing his voice, and it's horrible. So yeah, I think that the voice acting is actually very top notch in this show, and it fits the characters greatly. Overall, the lasting appeal in the show, you can watch this over and over again because it shows. I mean, one thing that this show does really, really well is it gives backstory to all the characters. It doesn't just give it to like Domon. All the main characters have backstories. Even the characters that you only meet in the first in one episode, they all have a backstory, and they all have some kind of importance that the creator put into them, and that didn't just make them like a little flat character that's just there to fill in the episode. They all have kind of emotional attachments to what they're doing and why they're in the Gundam fight, and it's shown in this extremely well. The character development in this is good. Everything about this show is really like a top notch, and it deserves, and it is in one of the top Gundam series of all time. So I would give this show a 4.5 out of 5. It's an amazing show. It's great for you to get into if you've never been into it. Check out G Gundam if you've never been into Gundam before. It's the best one to start out with, in my opinion.